All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Um. So Dracula 3000.
Oh
That's
my
what,
god!
I think that's what this whole episode is about.
Well, can I say one thing before we get into that? I would say the ideal order to watch season is Dracula 3000 first, because everything after that looks looks brilliant. Like
I was going to say the opposite.
I
didn't start off at the top.
When the first time I tried to watch Dracula Untold way back, I couldn't finish it, and this time I was like, that was a good fucking movie.
I enjoyed it. I
really?
enjoyed it.
Okay. I didn't like it at all.
Now,
Dracula Untold. Not
Right.
Dracula.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I enjoyed Dracula 3000. I don't give a fuck.
I enjoyed Dracula 3000 for a completely different reason.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like,
I think Dracula Untold should have been more like Dracula 3000. I thought it was like this. Yeah, because it took itself seriously, and I think it shouldn't have. And Dracula 3000 for sure didn't take itself seriously, and I'm happy it did it.
I feel like the reason that Dracula 3000 is a terrible movie is because they tried to make a fucking comedy vampire movie. It doesn't work.
I don't know if they
they thought that they were fucking funny, bro. They thought that they were early 2000s hilarious. And it was not. It was definitely racist. And
I think their attempt was more so to make a bad movie, and they succeeded. Like, I don't think there was any attempt to make a good movie.
I don't know,
I think they succeeded in making a one that it's one of those good bad movies in the sense of it did not take itself seriously, which is one of the biggest criterias. Or I guess that's not true, because you can take yourself seriously and it'd be so bad, and that's where it does become good.
That's Brides of Dracula.
yes.
Brides of Dracula has like 4 good moments, and the rest of it is just old dudes being way too serious and talking about shit that doesn't have to do with vampires.
Yeah, and also no brides. And no Dracula.
There was like two brides, kind of. But they weren't brides of Dracula for sure.
Yeah,
Dracula,
no brides of
not
Dracula.
In the fucking movie. Nobody named Dracula in the movie.
Yeah, no brides.
No.
There was a woman who got engaged for like 5 seconds.
This is the short-term fiance of Dracula.
Yeah. This was the proposal of Dracula.
The proposal of it's the proposal
he's not
of
even
Baron,
Dracula.
It's the proposal of Baron Marstein or whatever the fuck his name was.
Everybody on Letterboxd, every fucking review was like, this dude's such a fucking dweeb.
Dude.
And they just specifically used the insult dweeb.
Yo,
and I was like, that's spot on.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Fuck blonde Draculas, bro. Fuck blonde Draculas. Fuck all the blonde Draculas, unless it's like a long blonde. But like his like Chucky fucking blonde hairdo, get fucked, bro. You're not a Dracula.
Did Rutger Hauer have blonde hair as Dracula in Buffy? I can't remember.
Great. I think it's more of a white.
I think might have been a dirty blonde.
It might have been, but that's different because it's
blonde.
Rutger
He gets a
Hauer.
pass because it's him. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, but that movie. Like,
speaking of dudes with ridiculous names, can we talk about the fact that Udo Kier is in fucking Dracula 3000?
Yeah, why did he do
but
that?
like he's not actually in Dracula 3000. He's just a video recording. What the fuck is that movie?
Dude. And then when they find his skeleton that has really long hair for some reason.
And also is that like all of the props and effects that they did on that movie were bought at a dollar store.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Like they were like, Spirit Halloween is in town. It's October. Let's stock up on Dracula 3000 props.
Yeah.
I want to know where they filmed that. It had to have been just an empty warehouse.
Oh yeah, because there was zero attempts to make it look like a spaceship, let alone a spaceship from the year 3000.
That's not
for sure.
true. That's not true at all, Derek. They tilted the camera.
Yeah.
Speaking of the camera, holy shit!
Oh my
Everything
God.
was a zoom. Everything was a zoom. And my favorite one was whenever the smart guy is at the terminal and he turns around real quick, and it's just like a 3 zoom like smash cut to his face 3 times real quick.
That every shot of somebody talking is their whole face in the fucking frame. There's no other. That's the only way that they knew how to fucking film dialogue.
Yeah.
Or the other shot where the camera's way on like a catwalk. And it's zoomed into the guy, and he's just screaming, and then it zooms out real quick, and you're like a mile away, and it's like, yeah.
And Coolio, you know what? You got
Coolio. Honestly, other than his incredibly fucked up sexual fucking remarks and shit, honestly, a great vampire. Great space vampire.
Come on.
I thought he looked like a great. I was like, for this movie, he kind of works.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he was a better vampire than whoever the fuck that was as Dracula.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Like that guy. I understand.
He was horrible.
That guy. I bet that guy had way more scenes, and they were like, no.
Maybe.
We gotta cut this guy.
You think they had standards and they were like cutting shit like that? Like,
I think that's how bad that Dracula looked.
It's all bad. I mean, the whole movie.
I think that as they were going back, they were like, they probably just kept cutting more of him to try and like make some sort of tension.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, it feels like a group of high school kids made that movie. It's
but
here's the thing.
It's clearly not.
Here's the thing. That movie had 2 writers.
Yeah,
and that's literally one of my notes. How the fuck does this movie have 2 writers?
2 writers too many.
Yeah, way too much. But the thing is like, I don't know. Like, it's, for one, according to everybody who wrote reviews on Letterboxd, this is the worst rated Dracula movie ever made.
I think it's the worst Dracula movie ever made.
Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, we're gonna watch. We're gonna try to watch all of them. Currently, it's the worst one, and that's including Dracula 2000 and some of the other shit that we've already watched.
See, I'd probably agree. I would actually definitely agree. It's the worst one, but I would say, again, this is my different perspective from you guys, obviously, because but I had more enjoyment watching it. Like, I know it's technically a worse movie by all accounts, but I'd prefer to watch that than Dracula Untold.
Hey, that's fair. You know what? I'll put it this way. I'd rather watch Jason X again than Dracula 3000.
Yeah, Jason X is awesome.
But I think it's the same movie, though.
It is.
They tried to recreate that with no budget.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, okay, everybody on Letterboxd and everybody on the internet, like, just fucking trashed that movie. And it was like on IMDb, it's got a 2.1 rating. And I've personally never watched a movie that's rated that low on IMDb.
It's the first Rotten Tomatoes score that we have seen so far that doesn't have a tomato meter.
What?
Like, critics just didn't review it.
Yeah, they just didn't review it. Yeah. Wow. But the thing is like, I don't know, like, I've seen worse stuff on, like, it feels like a 1990s made for TV sci-fi movie.
Well, I think it's because they were trying to do, I think that they were literally trying to do Firefly, because Firefly had come out 2002, 2003, and this was 2004. Yeah, so, like, the beginning of this is 100% the beginning of Firefly.
Yeah. And it still had, like, the vibe and the setting of, I mean, obviously very low in comparison, but Event Horizon and a lot of those 90s space movies where the inside of spaceships kind of just look like long corridors that were, like, just lit a certain way.
Yeah.
However, those movies obviously had a budget.
They also had better lighting.
This movie had no lighting.
I think that's a huge part of it, is like, it just, it never looks like you're filming a spaceship. It always looks like you're in a room that has lights on.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just kills me that, like, it's not just a space movie. It's a space movie in the year 3000. And, like, Coolio's chilling in, like, some dorm room from 1999 smoking a hookah that's supposed to be a bong.
Hold on. I got a whole note. I got a whole note about his fucking room. Oh man.
But it's all like nothing resembles a spaceship at all.
There was another. Go ahead.
Coolio's room on the ship includes wallpaper made out of sheets of bubble wrap, some random huge surfing cardboard ad, like some shit you would see at like a liquor store or some shit, covered in like just random surf mag pages over it to like cover the fucking branding of it. A metal bus bench.
Right.
One of those chrome, like those super shiny insulation blankets was on the floor. A surfboard that looks like it had tribal pattern drawn on it with a Sharpie, and a bong. So is the implication?
It trying to be a bong.
It was a hookah bong. It's a hookah bong. It's, you know what? He could smoke one marijuana with it, maybe even inject it. But is the implication that Coolio sleeps on a bus bench in space?
I guess so. I guess so, man.
Like, and everyone was like, I don't think they show anybody else's room, do they?
No, it was just his.
So does everybody just get to design their own room? And he was like, hey, yo, you know what I need? A fucking bus bench.
Yeah.
Nah, I could put my bong on it.
Yeah. One of the other
it's a space
really
bong,
funny.
Derek, quit calling it a hookah.
Did you guys also catch that the concept of God is outlawed?
It's been outlawed for 200 years.
Yeah, for 200 years at this point. It's 1,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
And God, these people barely understand what the concept of God is.
Right.
However, the actress who played on Baywatch, I don't remember her name.
Was that Aurora?
Aurora.
She was on Baywatch.
She makes the comment and calls the dead body they find Leatherface.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, she goes, "What's up with Leatherface?" Here or something like that. Yeah, so it's like it's so funny to see like comments like that. It's like, okay, so you guys want to throw like how little paying like attention there was on writing.
Yeah, right.
Well, which is
also, fine. There wasn't an attempt to. That's like there's
crucifixes had been banned, specifically crucifixes had been banned for 200 years, but this ship that they got on is 50 years old and he had a crucrucifix.
Oh, it was he made one out of
even more so. How did he know?
Right.
I don't know.
Because he's super into mathematics. Also, metal plus sign.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. They gave Coolio some of the dumbest lines ever written in this fucking shit.
But you know what? He killed it. He fucking killed it.
He killed it.
He killed it, dude.
He killed it. Like, honestly, like I thought that Coolio did better than Debo just because the stuff that they gave Debo was so like
awful.
Awful.
It was awful.
Like that dude's such a good actor. We've seen him do good shit.
Oh yeah, he's
like,
awesome.
Just relegating to him to like I'm angry muscle guy is man, you could have made it so much more fun.
But you know what? Like whenever I was watching it, I'm paying attention and I'm obviously noticing that this is not a good movie, quote unquote good movie. But
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, I really felt like Casper Van Diem and like all of the people in it.
Even into it just now.
All the people in it were trying to be serious. And Coolio was the only one who understood the fucking assignment, which was just to have fun with it.
I thought he was the only doing that. I didn't get the sense.
He felt like the only one that was like, I'm just here to have fun.
Right.
You know,
everybody else was trying a good job.
Debo seemed like he was just fucking around and being.
Yeah, I guess.
It's funny that we're calling him Debo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tiny Lister Jr. specifically.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Same thing with Coolio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The Dracula collar was the worst thing I've ever seen in
this world.
Dude,
worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was held up with fucking clothes hanger, bro.
It has to be.
Like that was like, what are you thinking? What were they thinking?
They weren't thinking.
Why were they like, let's make Dracula look like the worst version of the Monster Squad Dracula ever?
Because look at the whole movie. Would it just out of nowhere make a good-looking Dracula for a big piece of shit movie? That'd be crazy.
Know, like, it's just weird. It's so weird to me that you would that a group of filmmakers would. Wow. You're the one trying to give him credit. I'm not.
I'm not giving him credit. I'm well aware it's a piece of shit.
That's the thing is, it's weird to me that they would set out to make a movie that's funny and like not supposed to be taken seriously, but then direct all the actors to take it seriously. Because Casper Van Dien's clearly taking it seriously. So is Aurora. Sure. So is the smart guy. Like, they're not in a comedy movie. They weren't told to be in a comedy movie. That's why I don't think it was supposed to be funny. I think that the writers thought that they were being funny, but they weren't.
Well, so I don't think. I think their attempt in being funny is not what was funny. I think it's that not being funny is what made it funny. Like, the movie sucks.
Right, 100%. I'm with
it's
you
not
on
a great
that.
comedy.
I just don't think that filmmakers can intend to set out to do that. I don't think it ever happens on purpose. Because every time they try to make a bad movie, it's
100%. 100%. Yeah.
I think that this is more of a troll too, where like they thought that I don't think that they thought that they were making a fucking fantastic movie. There's no way that you can. Bro, their spacesuits are a fucking engine, like a janitor jumpsuit and a firefighter's mask with some fucking plastic hose. Like, the hoses don't even go down correctly. Dude, they don't even hang. Like,
there was no emphasis on anything.
They spent a weekend writing that and like a weekend shooting it. Like, there's no way that it, you know what I mean?
But I hope it only took a weekend.
And there's no way it was more than that. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
For their sake, I hope. Because that's a lot. That's a lot of time wasted otherwise.
Yeah.
But what? I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
You know what?
That's what I'm saying.
And I rented it, so they got some money off of us.
And like, I don't know, man. Like, okay, it's the worst Dracula movie out there, but is it? Because I enjoyed it.
So I like what you're saying here, because I felt conflicted as I was rating it on my letterbox, where I was like, all right, like, this does not deserve more than half a star. Like, this movie is the lowest I could possibly give it, but I enjoyed it more than that.
Right.
And like, movies in the past, and this is, I think, me being self-aware of a bias. Like, when I have a movie that's a shit movie, B movie from the 80s, there's an aesthetic to that, and there's a nostalgia to it, and there's just a bias that I have where, like, I could watch a shitty movie from the 80s and happily give it 4 stars because I just enjoy it.
Right.
There's something about being a 2004 movie that made it was so hard for me to, like, give it more stars. And it's just a weird bias, I guess, because of the time frame. Because if it was that movie, but in the 80s, but everything else is the same.
Yeah.
It would have been like, oh, it's fucking, it would have a cult following of sorts. I mean, maybe that's being too.
That might be.
It might be too much.
A little generous.
But it might be too much. But
you still gave it 2.5 stars, and I feel like that's accurate.
I think the beauty of the reality is that both things can be true. It can be the worst fucking Dracula movie ever made,
you could enjoy
it. You specifically can still enjoy it.
Of course. Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't consider Brides of Dracula a Dracula movie.
No. That's the thing. Is like,
just not.
Honestly, it's there's nothing to even really talk about because it's not a Dracula movie. Like, like I'm upset, and we kind of knew that going into it because we read the synopsis. But like, I figured there'd be like a little more storyline involving Dracula, and it just it's not.
I had a couple notes where
so hold on. So can we try to understand this for a second? So is Baron and his mom, I guess that's his mom, right? Are they descendants of Dracula?
I have no idea. Is that Dracula's castle?
No, because that's Castle whatever their name is, right?
Because like the inn that Van Helsing comes into, that's the same inn from Horror of Dracula.
Is it?
It's got the same, same innkeeper too.
Maybe it is Castle Dracula, and over the years they've changed the name of it.
Well,
because why would you keep Dracula? Because obviously,
right? But
bad juju.
We've established that horror of Dracula. I mean, it couldn't have happened that long before Brides of Dracula because Van Helsing is still there. It's not like it's been 50 years,
and he's barely fucking aged.
Yeah, it hasn't aged at all.
Also, he just showed the fuck up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he showed up out of nowhere. Yeah. But what I was what I was confused on is he goes to the inn and he's talking to the same innkeeper that he talks to in Horror of Dracula. But like at no point does he establish like, yo, yeah, I know what's going on. I just killed Dracula like a year or two ago.
And also,
in the
wouldn't
same
the
spot.
Innkeeper be like, oh, hey, it's that guy again?
Yeah. Yeah. See what I mean? Dracula 3000 has none of this.
None of it. Like, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. I figured that Dracula Untold was going to be a mess. And like, honestly, not perfect. It has but like story-wise, solid. Solid. I mean, it makes sense all the way through. And like, I was kind of like, this is dope. Especially after Dracula 3000. But I mean, that's the perfect setup because coming off of Dracula 3000 and like the ship exploding before it even hits the matte painting and being like, what the fuck was that?
That ending is got to be the most abrupt ending of film history.
James, did you watch the after credits?
Yes, I saw the after credits. The fucking phenomenal after credit scene where Tiny Lister Jr. has Aurora Ash over his shoulder, slaps her ass, and goes, "Yeah, that's what Daddy like," or whatever the fuck.
Something like that.
I don't know. I forget what he said. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Right? Good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. You know what? I think it was important that they added that in. It adds to the lore of Dracula.
Yeah. It was very important.
Very, very important.
But and that's what I mean. Is like I've got more notes on Brides of Dracula than I do Dracula 3000. And most of my notes on Brides of Dracula were like, oh my God, it's only been 26 minutes.
What's funny?
What's going on here?
The exact flip.
The thing is,
I have no notes on Brides of Dracula because nothing happened.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I mean is like all of my notes are being like, okay, what's going on here? Whereas Dracula 3000 is like, it is what it is. And it's pretty fun. So in that regard, it can't be that bad.
I've got a note for Brides of Dracula. I wrote, you could burn a vampire bite away and you're good.
I was like, weird. What the fuck did he do? I don't understand.
So I'm starting to wonder, and we're gonna have to actually like look into this because I want to find like the roots of vampire lore. If there's a vampire like a good vampire historian, like genuinely contact us because I would love to fucking sit
because
and talk about
so for anybody who hasn't seen Brides of Dracula,
right?
Well, not even Dracula, the vampire in the fucking movie, he bites Van Helsing, and then he fucking leaves to fuck off somewhere, and then Van Helsing wakes up and then he takes a hot iron and
holy
water. But first he burns the bites on his neck and then he throws holy water. And then I guess the holy, you know what? Now I get it. Now I get it.
By the way.
Well, I get it because he knows, okay, he's been bitten. Now I had it, but I lost it.
He's already, See, it all falls apart because he was passed out when he was bit.
Not even that.
In there.
So he got it.
But what's gotten in there?
Hold on. So he gets bit. He gets bit by the vampire guy, this fucking vampire dweeb. And so he wakes up and Van Helsing's like, okay, shit, I'm now a vampire. So I've gotta heal myself with the holy water. So he burns the bites, throws holy water, and then the holy water heals him because the holy water, I think they're trying to say that the holy water would heal a vampire, like because he's going to turn into a vampire, but that doesn't make any sense because holy water damages vampires.
Yeah. No, there's no logic to it
whatsoever. Which the makeup was pretty dope when he did that.
Yeah, one of my notes is, man, he should have got burned in the beginning of it, and then he would actually look cool the whole movie.
Yeah, because that looked, the makeup was pretty badass on his face.
That would have been really cool.
The whole fucking thing falls apart because it kills him. He died from just the holy water.
Who?
Fucking not
Dweeb?
Dracula. Dweeb.
No, dude, he
Dweebula.
died. No, dude, he died because he got caught in the giant shadow of a cross.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't the
That
holy
is
water.
not how it read to me. It read to me as he splashed holy water on his face and he succumbed to his holy water burn. The fucking cross never even factored into it for me.
Really,
Not
yeah.
even
Because
a fucking bit.
well, you saw Van Helsing at the. Well, hold on. So, okay, yeah, we explained what happens with the neck. Got off topic, but if anybody, so that's what happens. But that makes absolutely no sense.
Makes no sense.
So that's how he cures himself of vampirism. But then a minute later, when he splashes the holy water on the vampire, and then the vampire runs outside, the scene, or a couple seconds after that, when Van Helsing jumps on the windmill, he's correcting it to where instead of it being an X like this, it turns like this,
Right.
and casts a giant cross shadow in the courtyard below. And then the vampire gets caught in it, and because he's running, and then the shadow corrects itself to a cross, and then he gets trapped, and he can't move. And then he turns around and he's like, and then he falls down dead.
See, that's bullshit, bro. That's not a fucking cross. That's a win. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's not
exactly.
a cross. A cross has to be higher up. That's a cross. This is an X.
Right. Now, I will say
This is a
the scene
plus and
after
this is
that,
an X. This is a cross.
right. And it's also like, okay, dude, like there's so many things that are cross shaped. If you get
Yeah, no, you
know what I mean?
like
you
if
couldn't
you
even
walked
be in a
past the
window.
fence, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, you you can't stand in front of like a 4-pane like window thing.
You
Like
just
you
walk
can't
up
do
to people
anything.
and be like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah,
Couldn't-
fuck you. Fuck you, vampire. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
like you literally can't do anything.
No, nothing.
Can't do basic math.
No.
No.
Mathematics.
Metal
plus
mathematics.
sign.
Metal plus sign. Fucking
Yeah.
You can't hang out with Coolio anymore, apparently.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see if that is the most ridiculous way we will see a vampire or Dracula die.
There are so many
Untold,
Dracula
not
movies.
Untold, in Brides.
Yeah, because that
That's
was
pretty ridiculous.
fucking ridiculous.
I'm
Is
sure
it more
there's
ridiculous than 3000? They didn't even fucking fight him. They cut his arm off in a door
Well, they
and
cut
threw
him
it into
by
the
him.
sun. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
well, I mean, he's definitely fucked. He died. I mean, that's and
he?
honestly, I mean, he flew into the sun. That's a lot of UV rays.
Look, okay,
bro.
first rule is
You
if they
can't
don't
get
die.
much more UV than that.
If look, the first,
That's max
okay.
UV.
You know what? No, hold on, because I had a whole thing, and then I was like, wait a minute. If the shit, because I was like, if you die off screen, you maybe didn't die. That's always the rule, right? So
Yeah,
you
of
didn't
course.
see him die. He didn't get a stake. He just had his arm cut off and screamed like a little bitch.
Yeah. And I mean, you could,
a big bitch. I'm gonna
Dracula
say
can
a
come
big
back.
bitch.
Dracula can come back from that.
Dracula can come back from that. He's fine.
Yeah.
But and I was even gonna say like he could probably survive the ship explosion, which I really like.
Spencer's Dracula.
You know what? You're right.
Spencer's
You're right.
Dracula.
You're right. You're right. You know what? One of my notes is this is the Dracula that owes Moon Knight his goddamn money.
Who's Moon Knight? Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Dracula, you
I
big
didn't-
fucking
yeah, I
nerd.
was
Where's my
thinking about
goddamn
movie.
money?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Totally agreed.
Yeah. This is
But,
the
like,
nerdiest Dracula.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
I
mean-
don't know, man. That's a pretty.
So
that's a-
okay. So hold on.
on
Back on topic.
paper.
Back on
Yeah,
topic.
on paper-
he could survive the ship explosion. However, he's now floating in front of the sun.
Oh yeah, he's fucked.
So he's fucked. Fair
yeah,
enough.
even
fucked.
if the ship blew up like a mile away from the sun,
yeah, it's
he's
still
done.
like if you could die from Earth's UV rays, you're fucked.
yeah, you can't get much. You can't, like I said, you can't get much. You can't get more UV than that.
No.
So on paper,
You know what's funny though?
Dra-
the subtitle or the tagline at the bottom of the cover art is "In space there is no daylight."
God damn it. God fucking damn it, guys. Fucking hell. Come on, what are you guys doing?
I
Dude, it just keeps getting better.
Technically,
You know
it's
what?
right.
I will give it the fact that like even though that doesn't make any sense because they clearly fly into the fucking sun. I do think that they kind of utilized space and the future correctly when it comes to like vampire, sort of when it comes to vampire rules, because like I like the idea that they're like, well, it's the future, so like we came up with synthetic wood and that won't fucking kill him.
Right. Okay.
And also also the same, like the thing is like 30 Days a Night where like, yeah, there's no sun. So what do you do?
Yeah.
But also, they never actually utilize any of it because you only see Dracula for like 10 seconds in his big dumb fucking Halloween fucking cape.
But
I don't know, a disco collar. I can't get over it.
I don't know, dude. I'm starting to think that flying Dracula into the sun might be the most badass way to kill Dracula.
It's the best of all Dracula movies.
You really can't go any further than that.
No, it's like,
it's the absolute best.
You're gonna be hurt? Fuck you. Watch this. Like, that's got to be the biggest fuck you to Dracula I think anybody's ever put on film.
We experienced the whole spectrum of Dracula being killed by a shadow.
On a scale from not Dracula killed in the shadow of a windmill to Dracula flown into the twin suns in a spaceship and blown up. Where does this rate?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think this rate's about a Dracula gets stuck in a thorn bush.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that one.
Oh man, you shouldn't be.
2 of the letterbox reviews that I wrote down for Dracula 3000 was 1, makes Leprechaun 4 in space look like Godfather.
I haven't seen Leprechaun in space, but we're gonna do a Leprechaun series.
I'm excited for it.
I'm stoked.
And then the other one is, if you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you. Friedrich Nietzsche after watching Dracula 3000.
I was really hoping for it to like go into fucking Coolio lyrics.
Right?
Yeah.
If you gaze into the Fantastic Voyage also gazes into you.
Yeah.
Right. God.
From Comptonia.
Oh man. I think Dracula 3000 became my new favorite Dracula movie.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you this whole time.
Yeah. I don't know how you could get better.
And of these 3 movies, that's the one that I was like enjoying and like laughing throughout.
I'd like to do a serious a line reading now, if we could. Transylvania is a planet in the remote Carpathian system. It's a planet of vampires. Vampires? So what the hell's a vampire? It's sort of like a man, only far more evil, if you can imagine that. And then, shortly after, all this blood-sucking shit, that's the white people shit. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That was the other part of the note is, you're right, Humvee, it is.
Yeah,
right.
I love that his name is Humvee.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Humvee and 187.
187.
187.
He wasn't even in 187. He was in fucking what was it?
Yeah, but 187.
187 was Sam Jack.
Yeah, but 187 is
the code for homicide.
Yeah, it's the code for homicide. Yeah.
But what they said it was for him was his IQ.
Yeah.
Before he started doing that was his IQ before he started doing drugs.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Before he started smoking that Comptonia. Well, it was like hydroponic platinum.
Yeah.
Smoking I feel like smoking platinum's a really bad idea. Right? You're gonna get fucking platinum.
It's gonna murk your IQ. Yeah. And you're just going to start ejaculating all over bazonkas.
Oh my God. I could not believe that they left the line ejaculate on your bazongas in there. Wow.
Yeah.
That was...
But you know what? Coolio deserves all the credit for delivering that line as good as he did. He did his best.
Unless he's the one that came up with the line.
Yeah, maybe.
If he came up with the line, then that's a different conversation. But if he delivered the line, if they wrote the line for him and he delivered it, then he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
I love when Debo and Aurora. I'm just going to keep referring to Debo because it's the best.
It's either Debo or Humvee, and I think people are going to know what you mean when you say Debo.
Right, exactly.
I hope he got a Humvee at some point for it.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't.
But it's just the two of them, and Dracula's chasing him, and he says to her, he's like, "You go first. He doesn't want your blood." She says, "No way. He's still scary."
Yeah.
The fucking robot.
No way. He's still scary. I mean,
God.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at least it's fucking accurate.
I gotta say, this robot less cool than the Jason X robot. Jason X robot at least like did something. She wasn't a fucking head.
She wasn't a
punched
PB
off
though.
She wasn't.
She wasn't
You're right there. She wasn't.
I wrote it. She says a Proteus 3.2 PB.
It's the name of the episode.
God.
Proteus 3.2 PB.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I think anybody who hates on this movie just doesn't know how to have fun.
I don't know how to have fun. It's a medical condition. I haven't been able to have fun this whole time. I don't know how. You're gonna have
I'm changing my review. It's going to 5. Fuck that's a 5-star.
It is. Like, could you imagine? Like, that's one of those movies where it's like if you're hanging out with a bunch of people and then you throw that on, like that makes a good night.
Yeah, because everybody leaves and I get to be alone.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. And all the dumb fucks like me stay. And we're just fucking.
And it's just me and Derek making out on the couch.
But you know what's interesting is there's a weird parallel or comparison to be made watching Dracula 3000 and then watching Brides of Dracula right after. Where
I could fucking see that.
Well, hold on. So, there's a scene in Brides of Dracula where Peter Cushing he's being attacked by easily the fakest bat I have ever seen. And his dedication to reacting to that as if it's fucking real is like remarkable. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you can tell, like, he has no, like, the thought never entered his head to go, this is fucking stupid. This is dumb. I'm beneath this. It's like, no, I'm a fucking professional and I'm going to do my fucking job and I'm going to sell it. And it's like, and obviously like the prop bat is horrible. Like, it's just laughably cheesy. And it's like, here's a scene and a guy that's like taking it to an extent of professionalism that is far beyond what you normally see. And then you watch Dracula 3000 and then you watch everybody in that movie. And it is so drastically the opposite end of that fucking spectrum. It's just weird.
I love that you're like the stupid fucking cardboard bat, and I'm like, A+ cardboard bat attack. That's literally my note. I was like, that was good. I thought that was a good bat. For the 60s, that's a good ass bat.
It was a solid Peter Cushing reacting to a really bad, decent.
Well, he's
for
an
the
awesome
60s?
actor.
For the 60s, though? A bat for the 60s, bat prop for the 60s.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's how I view a lot of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have to view those movies in that context.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was that bat in Dracula 3000, like that
very well could have been
fit.
Yeah. I think it would have been amazing. Honestly, that's what it needed. That would have made it a 5 for me. If that specific bat was in Dracula 3000, I'd be like, I hadn't even seen Brides of Dracula. That's the Brides of Dracula bat. 5 stars.
But
that's why the collar is so big. The collar has to be bigger because the collar turns into the cardboard bat wings.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's science.
And the opening scenes in Dracula 3000, and one of the opening shots is a spaceship flying around, and it made me think of Wayne's World 2 when they're going to London to get Del Preston, and they have the little plane flying.
That's
just the way the ship was moving.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Brides of Dracula, I think I will have to put at the very bottom of my list. We'll see. We'll see how bad these get.
I think I like it more than Horror Dracula. Well, here's the thing. The difference to me is that Horror of Dracula, I've already seen the Dracula fucking story a million times in a million different ways.
Yeah.
And as aesthetically, I love it. I love the 60s.
The aesthetics are awesome.
The aesthetics,
on
the way that movies looked back then, just the Hammer like vibe. I love that. But
the colors, the sets, like
fucking boring.
Yeah, I think that's
you were not wrong. It is so fucking British. It's because it's just them fucking talking, and this one is a little tiny bit better.
I have a note that says, "How the fuck is this one somehow more British than the last one?"
Yeah.
But I just think like the big part of the enjoyment for me of those movies is exactly that: is the sets. There's definitely like it's slow, and
they're not movies to put on when you're in a rush. They're movies to put on. You fucking you come home, you sit down, you fucking maybe you smoke a joint or something, you fucking put on a Hammer movie and you just fucking like just dig it and be like in it. You know what I mean? You can't really like
have a fireplace.
Yeah, you gotta have a fireplace. You gotta have a big bear rug. You gotta have
big bear rug.
You gotta have like a bunch of really antique art all around the house. Like you really can't watch
it basically like a dungeon.
You literally have to be in a dungeon that has a TV. You can't watch Hammer horror unless you're part of the elite because you can't afford the set and setting for it.
Right.
Yeah, not at all.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure that all the Hammer horror fans are totally agreeing with me right now.
Yeah, there's literal bats hanging from you.
There's literal rats. Bats and rats. You gotta have the bat. You gotta have the bat to rat connection.
Yeah, you live in a cave.
Yeah.
You are Batman.
You are Charles Dance in Dracula Untold.
See,
he was good.
Great.
You know what? He was
great.
Also, I love that he's pretty much dressed as Death from the Seventh Seal.
Yes.
Like, perfect. Like he looks so good. He delivers it so. Honestly, if he had sucked, the whole movie would have fallen apart.
Yeah, I'm
even though he's not in it that much, he sells it.
One of my notes was honestly being a cave vampire monster really doesn't sound all that bad.
Yeah, I'm totally into it. Totally into it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. So, now Dracula Untold. I know you did not like it, Derek.
No, yeah, but I got notes. We can talk.
I got a lot of notes on Dracula Untold. But like I'm at least glad that somebody tried to make that story.
Yeah. And I think that the problem I had with it the first time I watched it was I don't know if I knew what I wanted that story to be.
I just want a historical. I really, Brad Pitt's production company tried to start getting. There's a script out there called Vlad, and it's supposed to be a very historically accurate, as obviously as much as we know about him, a historically accurate film about Vlad the Impaler. Well, it's not about Dracula, just Vlad the guy.
See, and that's the problem. I think that's
hold on. So and it's like I want to see that movie, but I also appreciate somebody coming along and trying to kind of blend the two. Of here's the historical Vlad, but he becomes Dracula. How does that happen?
See,
and
to
at
me,
least somebody tried to make it.
To me, I kind of don't want a historically accurate Vlad the Impaler because he's kind of boring.
Well, I don't know. I think you could do a decent movie about it.
I think that this is the more interesting movie of the two, though, because
I don't know. I want to see an epic fucking war film where a whole army is impaling an entire field of dudes.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
Cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
From what I understand. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's I guess we cut that then because I don't know because I have different information where it was like it was mainly like he just stabbed a bunch of heads on a wall. It's not like that's that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I got a critic consensus off of Rotten Tomatoes for Dracula Untold that I thought was funny. It said neither awful enough to suck nor sharp enough to bite. Dracula Untold misses the point of its iconic character's deathless appeal. And it's kind of the way I felt about it of just, it was shot well. It looked good. Like it had, but it just felt so like overly polished.
Yeah.
There was it lacked some soul to me. It was like because I thought like it was.
I don't see that. I think it had.
Oh,
I completely thought I totally dug that like he was in love. I mean, I don't think that they could have done a little bit more of like establishing that he gave a fuck about his family, like some more like, I don't know, something to make us feel connected to them a little bit more. But I love the idea of him being like, all right, well, you're not going to take my kid. I'm going to kill your entire people and then go become a vampire to protect my fucking my thing. And then that going concept. Horribly wrong. And I think that it nails it for the time that this came out. I'm impressed, honestly, because this is really the only movie that came out like this for a while.
Right.
Well, yeah, it was a big budget Dracula movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be one of the setups for the new
and honestly, like
Dark Universe.
At the end of it, I was like, motherfucker, I actually do want to see a sequel to this.
Yeah, although I did not understand the ending to that, where Charles Dance is like, just conceptually, it's like Charles Dance is like, he gets up from the table and he's spying on Dracula, and then he's like, let the games begin. And it's like, bro, hold on. It's like, you've had 600 years. It's been 600 years. What do you mean let the games begin? You've had 600 years to start these games. What's going to happen now?
I got your explanation. I 100% have your explanation. So what he tells him is that if you do this, and then you fucking turn, then I get to go free. And at some point, I'm going to take everything from you. He already lost everything.
He was waiting
and he just
till he
found
fell in
Mina
love.
Again. So
God,
now,
that's
I like that. I love that.
So, okay, what a dick Charles Dance is.
Oh,
because, like,
he's a monster. He's literally a monster.
Yeah, like, dude, he set you free. That's what you wanted. You wanted out of your little cave. And like, cool. Now you've had 600 years to be a really cool looking old British guy.
Yeah.
Who looks intimidating as fuck.
I was confused
now you're
by
mad
that.
at him?
I was confused about like, why did he help him in the first place? I mean, I guess it's in the hopes to get out of his fucking shackles of torment that like.
Yeah, I think because he recognized in him.
I don't understand at all why he was stuck in the cave. That's the part that catches me.
Well,
but also
I did read that in the original draft of the script, he was going to be, I think, Caligula, one of the first Roman like emperors or something like that. Well, they were going to tie him to that character.
Caligula would totally make sense because he's just debaucherous. So it's like a Hellraiser thing, Like he goes for so much debauchery that he becomes a van. I'm kind of into that. That makes sense.
Yeah. But then they decided to make him ambiguous.
Yeah.
And I was just confused.
I think that too.
I was confused with him helping him, but then like giving him that out of just like, but hey, like if you don't want to be like tortured for centuries like me, just don't drink blood for a few days.
Well, because he knows that he can't. Like, he knows that that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's not only the absolute like the what do they call it? I can't think of the fucking word. I
get what you're saying though. I buy that. That makes sense.
Like that plus the situation that he's in, like he's gonna kill the fucking the entire Turkish army without doing. I don't think it's gonna work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But like for movies like this, like where it conceptually and like the story, like I'd like all the story ideas, but like when you're looking at flaws, it's like stuff like she fell like 5 miles,
dude,
off that cliff.
I don't get what happened there. I don't get what happened there.
He was trying to catch her and he couldn't catch up to her.
No. She falls and she's on the ground and she's
totally
talking
intact.
to him. Yeah.
Like
fully
blood. Some blood dropping out of her ear.
It's like, that's some shit that Dracula 3000 doesn't even pull. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just so things like that. Whenever, like, if stuff like that is presented right in a movie of like, okay, if I see that in Dracula 3000, I'm gonna be not even question it, not even think twice about it. But in like a movie that's supposed to be obviously a serious film, and it's like you do that, and it's like, come on, guys, like
it worked for me.
Take it serious,
because otherwise
like,
you can't have the moment though. I thought that the moment was
don't
fucking
have that moment.
No,
figure out a different way to have that moment.
Yeah, they could have been.
It worked. It could have been
like
100% worked for me. I was like, "Fuck yeah! Now go kill that motherfucker."
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I dig the romance of it. I dig the like him fucking trying so hard and fucking like it doesn't work.
No,
and you can't have the fucking the lead up to that if she's a fucking pile of blood.
No, but you do something differently, like show that like he took some of that fall, or was able to take the brunt of it somehow because he was a bunch of bats and like
we don't know it. They go behind something. You don't see
that's the problem. Hit. That's the problem, I think. It was just like, because that was the first thing my brain went to. My brain went to like, the fuck? Like, she just fell 1,500 feet.
What I'm saying is, we don't know what he did behind that cart. Maybe he did catch her at the last second.
Maybe. Although I will say, him half himself and half bat.
Yeah.
As he's falling down. Dude, that was a really cool shot. I also
really loved the fucking moment where fucking young Tony Stark is trying to fucking stab him in the heart. And at first I was like, what is he like? How is he like the stake is opening him up? No, it's him for like, cause he's in fucking a pile of silver and trying to like will himself to turn into bats.
Yeah.
And like, that was cool. Cause like,
that was cool.
He does it. And you're like, yeah. Never have I wanted to see young Tony Stark get his head ripped off so bad. That guy's a bad dude. He's not Turkish, is he? I don't think that guy is Turkish.
He's British. No, all these people were British.
I feel like maybe you were the wrong one for this role.
Well, all of them. Like I remember before you watched it.
Wait, you mean that guy was a Transylvanian?
Right. Like my first note is, why are all these dudes British?
Yeah.
Like the whole fucking cast is British. And it's supposed to be Turks, like people from Turkey and people from Hungary or from Romania. It's like, and I get it. It's 2014 and it's a fucking bad Dracula movie. Yeah. So it's whatever.
Honestly,
but it's also
to be fair, this is a good Dracula movie. Like, I don't even mean like quality. I mean like the amount of budget that this movie had, they should have thought more about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big budget movie.
Yeah.
Like, straight up big budget.
Yeah.
And I love my favorite. One of my favorite moments from it was like at the end, his kid is like, "Save me, Dad!" Like, win, like blah 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 blah, and then Dracula is finally like, "I'm Dracula," and then he's sitting there like drinking the blood out of young Tony Stark, and then it flashes to his kid, and the look on his kid's face is kind of like, maybe let's rewind that.
Yeah,
let's go back. Maybe you shouldn't win.
Take it from the top. Take it from the top.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't realize we were going to go that direction.
Check, please. Check, please.
Yeah. Let me get out of here.
So my new headcanon for the end of this movie is that some of the vampires that he turned hid in the tents so they didn't get fried, and then those vampires went on to be the 30 Days a Night vampires.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? Pretty good. I like that. Because like they're speaking a fucking old ass language, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they're like, they've been around for a fucking while. So what if there's some of the very first vampires that just fucking had to like
I dig that idea.
Go get frozen or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I dig.
Yeah. I was watching it, I was like, they like when they did that shot of like him whenever he turns the first one and then he's like, "Do you want vengeance?" That was a great moment.
Right.
And then he just like scans his whole like courtyard and he's like, "I guess I'm gonna turn all these motherfuckers into vampires." I was like, oh, they kind of look like 30 Days a Night people, sort of.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. One of the reviews that I wrote down from Letterboxd pretty much like summed up how I felt about it. Stupid, but a good stupid. And I was like, yeah.
See, I still think it's less stupid than a lot of the Dracula movies I've watched recently. And You know what? You know what really makes it a great movie for me? And this is the dumbest shit ever. This is so like, dude, is the fact that even though it does get cut short, but like how you can't do it forever. But like him fighting the entire Turkish army was cool. That was fucking. It was really cool. Good for what it like. I didn't I was like, they're not going to show any of it. And they like for what it is and not being super, super gory. They fucking he whoops ass.
Yeah, it's a cool fight scene.
Yeah,
like for sure.
I don't entirely understand where he got all of those bats from in the last part.
Yeah,
I think they showed that was a lot of bats.
That was more bats than were in that belfry. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think they just it's kind of like a bat signal. It's like they recognize their own.
Literally a bat signal.
Yeah, literally. He is a walking bat signal now. So I think it was just kind of like I don't know. I think bats kind of just put out the call. Yeah. So they all just showed up.
I thoroughly enjoy
our bro needs help.
It seems like he's able to like, so he summoned all those bats and sent them at the Sultan's army. And then it seemed like he was able to like transport himself through the bats.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I thought that was
like a dash move.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, your point on the fight scene, just the battle with the Turkish army, and just fucking, it's a cool scene, and they don't show much, and that's where I was just like, man, like for a Dracula movie to be PG-13 is just a fucking bummer.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because that's why I hated it the first time I tried to watch it. And I forgot that it was PG-13. And going into it this time, it didn't even occur to me. I was like, wow, there's not any blood in this.
Right.
That's it. That was the only thing. I was like, oh, wow. But I don't know. I think it still holds up pretty good, which is funny for me to be like, I don't care that it's PG-13 because I'm the guy that's like, these vampire movies don't have enough blood in them.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt this time around.
That's fair. Because there's a lot going on and like there's no real like wounds or damage or anything.
The whole time I was watching it, I just felt like I said it a little earlier, like it's so like polished and like he's fucking like good looking and shit, and like it's all like pretty people and fucking like very Hollywoodized. And I was like, I could just see like Target selling posters of this movie. Like that's just like the feeling I get from it. To where like you're not gonna get a poster of Dracula 3000 anywhere. Like I'll fucking custom make it myself, maybe just hang it up in my 1999 dorm room like Coolio's. But it's It reminded me of the, I don't know if you've seen the video of Mos Def talking about Drake.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? You see that video?
No.
It's a great video. It's someone asking Mos Def what he thinks of Drake. Like, do you like Drake? And he has such a hard time not talking shit about him.
He's like really trying to be like not fuck up.
It's a great video. It's a great video.
It's so fucking funny.
For those of you listening, if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. But that was kind of like how I felt like this movie to me was Drake. Like it's there's an aesthetic. Like it's made well. You know what I mean? Like it's for sure made well.
Really well. Drake is so well produced. He's super made. It's very well produced music.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I felt about it. I just that there was not enough blood and soul.
Yeah. That's fair.
But it was a well-made movie. Like it's for sure.
I definitely gave it way more leeway because I had immediately watched Dracula 3000, and I was like,
and I did too. I went
like this is a good movie.
But you know what? It also like to me, I always look at like what the character that I'm watching, and it's so funny to me. It's like here's a dude who's like, he's a great husband. He's a loving and loyal husband, and he's going to fight for what's right. And he's going to fight for his kid. And he's such a great dad. And he's like, he's just the best fucking dad. And then it's like, hold on, kid, honey, I'll be right back. I have to go impale thousands of people in our front yard real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. And it's like, in some cases I get it, but looking at the source material of like how fucking horrible that guy really was, it's funny. It really goes to it also, when I look at all of these films that try to walk the line between what Dracula became in Bram Stoker's Dracula, where it's more of a love story. It like these movies that try to balance the brutality of who the original source material was, like Vlad, with what Dracula is, and introduce the love story element of it. It really goes to show how good Francis Ford Coppola's movie, I know we're bringing it up again, how good that movie really is. Because I feel like that's the only movie that I really watch where I'm like, the way they set it up, the way they told the story, the way that he loves his wife, but yet she's tricked and kills herself. And then that is what turns him into a monster to renounce God and renounce all this stuff. And that's how he becomes like this evil being.
Doesn't make any sense. How does he turn into a vampire?
I
think if Dracula Untold had a little bit more time to breathe, because it does suffer from the 2014 pacing thing, which is just quick. It moves quick. Yeah. But to be fair, I think that they did a good job of balancing that with doing a lot of like voiceovers while other things are happening. So like it's not terrible on that aspect. But if it had a little more room to breathe so that it could have some more atmosphere, great. If it had gore, at that point, I think it's the one movie. I think it balances it. I'm not saying it's as good of a movie as Bram Stoker's. I think it balances both stories as best as you can. Yeah. Because, I mean...
At least it has a origin of showing how he becomes a vampire.
And I like it being like... them being like, you're not a monster. Like, why the fuck? And he's like, yeah, no shit. I had to impale all those motherfuckers so that they'd leave us the fuck alone, because what better way to protect than to not have to deal with it?
Yeah.
And like that, I dig that, because it's not accurate. That's fine. But it's also like, I don't know, man. I don't really want to watch a dude just impale a bunch of motherfuckers. I'm going to need more story than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more story.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I am confused about, so I never read the Dracula. I know you said you guys did. Is there any explanation as to why he's a vampire? Is he the first vampire?
I'll be honest with you. I read that book in 2012, I want to say. I don't remember, because I struggled to stay awake through the whole thing.
I don't think that there is any mention of a master or anything like that.
I don't think so.
Is there a vampire before him?
Hey, no, that's what I'm saying is I don't think that there's any mention of any of that. Like, it's just he's Count Dracula.
It's just him. Yeah.
Like, I don't think, because there's no connection to Tepes either. There's no connection to Vlad Tepes in it either. It's just a dude.
Yeah, and the Brides of Dracula, when he burns the bite, I was just thinking, like, what is a vampire bite?
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe I should read this book again.
You could try.
It says, at least this is somebody's response. For one, universally, is that it does not explain, never explicitly explains how Dracula becomes a vampire. Right. However, in chapter 18, Van Helsing is researching Dracula's past, and
this is Captain Van Helsing in Dracula 3000.
Yes, it is Casper Van Dien.
No, he said Captain.
Captain Van Helsing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, from Dracula 3000.
I thought you heard. I thought you heard him say Casper Van Dien.
Casper.
No.
I forgot that Casper Van Dien played Captain Van Helsing.
Right. Yeah. Which is hilarious. Captain Van Helsing.
I also hold on. Okay. Sorry, Justin. Let's just go back to Dracula 3000 for just a second.
Yeah.
I do love that they're like Casper Van Dien, Captain fucking Helsing, and then he's fucking dead.
Does
not make it to the end whatsoever. Completely pointless.
He's not the hero, and I was shocked at that.
Yeah, because he did. Honestly, one of the highlight of the movie for me, other than Coolio.
Oh yeah,
but it's Casper Van Dien. Like I was like, man, who was against you? You needed better roles, dude.
He's
so good.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Anyway, so apparently in chapter 18 in the novel Dracula, Van Helsing goes and he does some research and he finds out that that Dracula had studied the black arts and dark magic in Transylvania at a school that seems to have been run by the devil. So, so
that's where it starts.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that dark wizard magic school in Skyrim.
Okay.
But for
bad I'm
guys.
into that.
His bite is essentially, it's a spell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it gets reversed when he gets killed.
Yeah, the reverse when it gets killed, that totally makes sense. A bite being a spell makes no sense. Because then then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter if Van Helsing does anything to it.
Well, no, actually, no. The bite doesn't have anything to do with it because he has to drink the blood, and then he, opens his way, and then he makes you drink from him, and then that's the transfer of blood is what makes you a vampire.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the ritual that would be doing that. That's the magic. That's the magical.
You know what?
Well, what's just a bite do then? Just a bite.
That's just to open up your veins to drink.
Yeah,
that's just how he feeds. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I thought, I'm going to be real with you guys. Maybe we've talked about this before. Maybe we haven't. I don't know.
Could be.
And you know what?
We'll never know. There's no way to ever go back and find out.
Well, I mean, outside of podcasting,
there's no way to ever go back and find out, Justin. When we say
you guys will,
they are said, we'll never know what they were.
Maybe you guys will remember. Maybe you won't. But I've seen a lot of people admit this. So I don't feel ashamed.
Admit this. I like where this is going.
But as a kid, I always thought that vampires drank through their teeth.
You know what? I kind of thought that too. I kind of thought that too.
What I mean? And then I was like, once I got older, I was like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's to puncture their veins and then you just drink it.
Yeah. And you know what? You really don't even need to do that because you could suck blood straight out of the skin. So you're good.
Yeah. Why?
And it's not comfortable.
No. But there's gotta that really goes to show how other than 30 Days a Night, and I'm sure there's other graphic vampire movies that have depicted this, although
we're gonna find
any of them escapes my memory right now. It's sucking the blood out of your victim, not really that messy in movies.
No.
But it would be horrifically messy in real life.
It depends on how good your sucking powers are. If you can keep
only suck so much.
Not if you're a vampire. You got super sucking skills.
You got to be full at some point.
Not if you're a vampire. You just love blood. But that's the thing is you can. But that's the thing is but a vampire.
What does the blood do once it gets in the body of a vampire?
It just hangs out.
I never thought about that. Eventually you're going to drink enough blood. Your body's not even using it.
Well, yeah.
Do vampires shit or piss?
No.
No.
So where does that blood go?
What I think it is.
Wait, you guys said that like you really knew the answer to that. Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah. I hang out with vampires.
Their body doesn't.
I hang out with vampires all the time.
Of course they don't shit or piss.
I'll introduce you to some of them. They're pretty cool.
Dude, it's so matter of fact. I didn't even think about it. I was like, no, dude, of course. Why would they? But here they are sucking blood. Their body doesn't even work.
This is off the top. This isn't based on a fucking thing other than this conversation. My new hypothesis for how vampires work is that when they drink the blood, it's replacing their blood. Which doesn't make sense from a physiological standpoint at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. But because they drain an entire person of all of their blood, which would be exactly how much blood their body needs.
And so they don't have a pulse.
They don't have a pulse. So maybe
where does their where does the blood go?
I think it just gets used, and that like it takes a lot longer, and it's fucking vampires. So just
well, yeah, I know.
This disbelief, but
I know, but this is an intriguing thought experiment.
I think it's just that they take longer to age, right? So I think that if a vampire hasn't fed in a while, they start to look fucking like emaciated.
Yeah,
they're essentially
like ugly Gary Oldman.
100%.
Vampires are zombies, guys.
Yeah. Vampires are zombies. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Yeah. The difference is that it depends on the vampire. Because if you get into like the vampires of magic,
there's different rules.
But like
there's different rules.
There's different rules for sure. But I think that it kind of makes sense because like they start to wither. So then they drink the blood and they get hydrated again.
Yeah. I just want to know where the blood goes once you drink it.
What was that?
I just want to know what happens to the blood after you drink it. Like, is it dissipating? It
evaporates.
Does it evaporate through the skin?
I think so. I honestly,
there's a lot of nutrients in blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Proteins, fats.
Yeah.
Like this is dumb. What we're talking about is dumb. But I kind of love that it's like kind of scientifically accurate.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. I feel like it's bordering on almost could be considered partially maybe a science.
Yeah. I think we just earned our PhDs right now.
Are we just assuming they don't?
Whoa. VHDs, thank you. Vampire hunting degrees, to be clear.
Yeah.
Are we just assuming that they don't use the blood as food? Like, is this something else?
Well, I think it's. I think it's both. I think that
at that age
they use it as food, but then it's just like we use food, except the only food they can process is blood.
Is blood, right? Like a mosquito.
But it just
yeah.
They're mosquitoes.
100%.
They're zombie mosquitoes who are just.
That's why there's so many goths in Florida.
Yeah.
It's all the mosquito bites. You get bit by a mosquito, you turn into a vampire.
All right.
And then you become goth. It's Florida.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation. It's too fucking hot to be a goth here otherwise.
I think the blood
it is
just has to evaporate somehow because it's got to be spit somewhere.
Justin's having his own conversation.
Yeah.
I gotta evaporate,
dude. I gotta get to the bottom of it. I gotta know where the
You're completely against the idea of them digesting blood and shitting and pissing.
Well, because they don't.
It's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
That's been addressed in movies. I've seen movies where they address it in Dracula 3000?
I don't know.
I think that they said something.
No.
One of these movies said something about.
I watched that movie very closely. They for sure did not. I would not have missed that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I've always wondered like how do dude vampires like have sex?
Magic.
It's not like
ejaculate on bazonkas.
But if they're replacing their blood. If they're, then I guess there's that.
Well, that's why they usually bite them during sex is to replenish the blood that went into their dick.
Maybe. Well, hold on. But again, where does the blood go?
Into their dick.
It's gotta.
Where does the poop go? Vaporize.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Good for you,
Good
man.
For you.
Good for you. A good quality pretzel doesn't need any salt. It's just a fact.
Is that what we go out on?
Yeah. Christopher Walken from Envy.
Us talking about how blood works for vampires, and then Christopher Walken from Envy. It's a good wrap up. Vaporize.
A couple notes. We could just trail this off, but a couple notes from Letterboxd on The Brides of Dracula I wanted to read was these were reviews. One of them was Peter Cushing just seems like an all-around nice guy, which he does.
He really does.
Another one says mostly dumb, but also kind of cool.
Yeah,
and I felt that pretty much summed that one up.
Yeah, the end of it's pretty decent. Like
the last 10 minutes are cool.
Yeah,
last 10 minutes are cool.
From the moment that the one that's on our banner and shit. The moment that she comes out of the coffin, it turns into a better movie.
Yeah, it's the second half is
the second third.
Sure.
I don't know about half.
I think that was around 45 minutes. No, like 40 minutes in, and it's like an hour 20.
I definitely have a note that's like 31 minutes in and still no Dracula. Or no, that was for Dracula 3000.
Yeah, one of mine for Dracula 3000 was nice of you to finally show the fuck up, Dracula.
Right? He's in it twice.
Yeah, I know. Another one was a note about Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing that they were huge fans of Looney Tunes cartoons, which also I'll finish reading that in a second, but that made me realize, like, I wonder if that was their inspiration for their chase scenes.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and Horror Dracula and the rest of them. Has to be.
Right.
Because then the rest of it
so ridiculous.
Yeah, the rest of it said that they would often imitate the voices and of characters to one another on set. And then at one point, they were asked to leave a theater showing of Sylvester and Tweety cartoon because they were laughing hysterically in the audience.
That's amazing. I want footage of them doing Daffy and like, dude, oh my God.
I know.
Could you imagine them dressed as fucking vampires and vampire hunters and being like,
right?
Like fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the funniest, like, because they're so proper and they're so professional and they're so like honorable, and they're like in their roles, and they're just kids.
Yeah,
they're just goofy. Just dudes.
Just dudes.
Guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Just dudes being guys, man.
Just dudes being dudes. Just Draculas being dudes.
Just Draculas being Draculas, bro.
Yeah. Still want to know where the fuck
Van Helsing's gonna Van Helsing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe Van Helsing knows.
The Rotten Tomato score is real quick because I think it's hilarious that Dracula 3000 has no tomato meter, which I hadn't seen that before. And then it's a 15% audience score, which sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
Dracula Untold.
Derek's just like, I'm in that 15%. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes me like it more.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, fuck
he likes
you
an
guys.
underdog.
Yeah. Dracula Untold is 25% tomato meter, 58% audience score.
You know what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that because you know that the critics were basing it off of when they fucking first saw it, whenever it first came out. Yeah. And the audience score is probably based off of like people that have actually gone and watched it now. And like for what it is, man, it holds up really well. It holds up better than some of the other modern vampires.
And his armor was dope.
Dude, his armor's so good.
His armor at the end was cool.
Oh my God. Honestly, all of his looks were serving and they were fucking slaying.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking tea.
Yeah. What was Brides of
Dracula is 78% tomato meter and 61% audience score.
78. Okay, so here's the thing. I know that we just said that we were going to end the episode, but that's not happening because here we are. What I really want to try to understand, and I don't know if there's a way to do this because of how removed by not only geography but time we are from it, is like, did the British people like that movie in the 60s? Like, did they go?
I don't know.
Because fuck the tomato meter. There's no way that the tomato meter is from
meaningless.
the 60s.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
For gauging 60s reaction to it for sure.
Right. Well, 78% of 18 reviews.
There you go.
So,
and who knows if they're even British?
Yeah.
They could be Floridian. But so like, was it like, because to me, you said Bride to Dracula, there's no fucking Dracula. I'm a mad customer.
Yeah. I can't even find original reviews of it, which you would think that there would be like some archive of reviews from like the 60s and 70s, something, but I can't find anything. Because like why? I saw somebody on Letterboxd make the comment, and it perfectly sums it up. This is a movie that is a perfect example of a studio coming up with a good title and then trying to make a movie out of it and not knowing where to go.
I think a lot of times what happened with Hammer is that they just have a script and they'd put a title on it.
Yeah.
They'd put a title on it that's sort of related to what was going on.
Yeah. And then they just build fucking badass sets. And I think that's what the biggest appeal is to these Hammer films. For me, at least, like that's the biggest enjoyment I get out of it. Yeah.
But it's all vibe and aesthetic and just
and that's great. But I'm also like,
I want a story.
But I'm trying to look at it from like a 60s teenager in Britain. Because that's who they're marketing it to, right? Like horror movies go to teenagers.
Yeah.
Because like
young adults,
like older, especially older British people who are super proper, they don't want to watch horror movies. They probably think it's garbage. Because they're like, oh, I gotta go live in my yard or whatever.
Go have some tea.
Put its cat on. The biscuit. But
run it under a cold tub. Right, go ahead.
A 60s teenager is like, are they like, this is good? Or does this just contribute to why they came up with punk?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, they're just like, all these fucking movies have sucked. We're so fucking bored. We're so angry because they keep promising a Dracula movie and Dracula's not in it. I'm starting a punk band, goddammit.
Yeah, because this was like 1969, I think.
Yeah.
No.
So 70.
Is it that? I thought it was 1960.
Yeah, I think it's 60, 62.
Yeah, it's 1960.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Horror Dracula was 1958.
Right.
I was thinking 1968. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why.
Yeah, dude.
If you happen to be somebody who is old enough to have seen this movie in Britain in the 60s, tell us. Because I want to know what your opinion was.
Dude, there's no way that IMDb rates a movie called Brides of Dracula that doesn't have Dracula a 6.6 and Dracula 3000, which has Dracula a 2.1.
That's the only criteria that matters.
Yeah,
that's the only one that they're judging it on. That's it.
It's about the brides. It's not about Dracula.
They're not, again, stated at the beginning of this episode, they're not even brides.
No, those are
not even brides of Dracula.
The two girls in the white are his brides because it's not fucking Dracula.
What girls? They were turned in the movie.
Right, I know, but that makes them the brides of Dracula.
But they were turned by Dracula. They were turned by the fucking dweeb.
I know that part. That's what I was getting mad about, is that they weren't turned by Dracula. So they're not the brides of Dracula. But those are the vampire brides.
That's what the movie wants you to think.
That's all I wanted to confirm. They are brides. They're just not of Dracula, because Dracula not in this fucking movie.
Yeah, and they're not even brides because homie fucking proposes to the other woman. They're forgotten.
But here's the thing. Even if she had married him, she would just be the bride of Count Dracula. She wouldn't be a bride of Dracula, because a bride of Dracula has to be a vampire. That's the rules.
And she would also be the bride of that fucking dweeb. I don't remember his name. I gotta remember his name.
Baron
Dracula's
Baron
dead.
Dweebenstein.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Baron Dweebenstein's a good starting point.
That fucking guy. God, what a dork.
You can't have blonde vampires, man.
No, you can't do it.
You just can't have blonde vampires. It doesn't work. Not with that fucking haircut. If you had a cool haircut, fine.
Blonde vampires isn't the problem. Is blonde Dracula is the problem.
Blonde Dracula. Fair fucking. No blonde Dracula. Now, not a Dracula, so that's fine. I fucking guess, but I'm. Fuck you. That's the problem, is they tried to make him look like Dracula. You know what I bet it was? I bet it was originally a fucking Dracula movie, and then Universal was like, nope.
No, because they would have done the same thing with Horror Dracula.
Well, Christopher Lee was supposed to be in it originally.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to be typecasted. He said, what? And then ends up doing like 7 of them. But
I fucking bet the script was written, and then he backed out, and then they had to fucking scramble and make it some other dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's like, why didn't you just recast Dracula? But no, because he was dead.
Yeah,
and
honestly, I think story-wise, it was easier to just be like, well, fuck it.
Yeah, they wrote it for. They were saying that it was it would start off with him back from the dead, and that he was going to be the main character of the movie, and then he backed out of it. He didn't want to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I bet they scrambled.
But that's what it said. It was. That's why. I mean, I saw that on. I don't know if when you watch on Prime on a computer that you could scroll over the trivia, and I just clicked on that.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that popped up. That's what it said.
Hell yeah,
so I don't know.
Nice. Okay.
I will say I love the end of Dracula Untold for fucking Charles. Yeah, fuck, I didn't say Charles Vane once. Charles Vane.
Yeah.
Charles Vane. He did. I thought he was going to be a bigger part of the movie, but he's literally in it like too. The beginning,
like 2 scenes,
one middle, and then he fucking him bringing him back to life is amazing though. That was sick.
Yeah,
because
cool.
it was like if he had been in the movie more, it would have been even better. But like, I love the idea that he was like, I don't think you understand, homie. Like, I'm dedicated to you. It doesn't matter if it's now or whenever. Like, I'm gonna give you this blood, homie.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking Skelgrim Vane. It's a good name. Skelgrim.
Oh, that was his name?
Skelgrim, yeah.
That's a cool name.
Skhelgrim.
That's a solid name.
That's a solid. And you know what?
That's a solid vampire hunter name.
Honestly, we should use Skelgrim.
Not a vampire friend. Helper name, not vampire.
I feel like
hunter.
Skelgrim Vane is like a fucking
too.
Warhammer fucking general. General Skelgrim Vane.
Yeah. It's a gross name. Like a dude sounds like it'd be like a gross gnarly fucking
it looks like Judge Death.
Yeah.
It just resembles Scrotum a lot.
General Scrotum Vane. Oh, Scrotum Vane.
Scrotum Vane.
Not Scrotum Vane.
Oh, no.
Womp womp. All right, that was the end.
The best part's just